Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is a bit of a reaction video to the events of last week, and I've deliberately left it till today. Many reasons, because a lot of bad crap went on this past week. Wednesday, obviously, the envy vote was, well, pretty much whitewashed, and some of the bits and bobs that happened personally and publicly. A lot of it I won't go into, so I'm going to keep this all off camera, keep this all vape related. First up, Wednesday. Of course, all the likes of Dave Dawn and the BTTV lot. I think Marco Van Basten went over and took a lot of you lot with him, and did the L2000 Black Balloons popping thing in the protests. And of course, the Envy committee either voted out or just lost the vote. Now, as far as I know, that's going to have to be redressed. However, something came up from that, which was a little article that my Ninja Information dude gave me literally Wednesday night, I think. And public health committees and MEPs toughen up plans to deter young people from smoking. Now, what's that got to do with vaping? You'll see. Additives and flavours. The updated TPD will prohibit the use in tobacco products of additives and flavours that will make a product more attractive. Right, I can understand that in cigarettes. Right, obviously we all used to smoke and we've taken up vaping as a replacement of it. But to us, of course, flavouring is important. You know, I don't think we want to vape raw PGVG nicotine. As far as I know, it's not going to be very, very nice. Got some in the fridge, and I'll have to ask me mixologist if it's safe to vape, but stupid. And I'm ranting on about this because it's mostly about tobacco products, but I'm ranting about this. There is a reason behind it. Okay, so just bear with me. No misleading labelling. So they're not allowed to make it look less harmful than what it is. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty certain that they're not misleading. There's a lot of warnings on there, like with needles and bad teeth and lung cancer and all that sort of shit. What the fuck are you, blind? This, by the way, is being mostly proposed by Linda McCavan. Twat. Health warnings! That's now going to go up to 75% package covering. I'm not sure if I'm going to rant about that or not, because it is a good idea in the respect that smokers should at least be making an educated choice, but by the same token it's kind of a competition block. Not a competition block, but an industry block maybe. Like, they're not, you won't know if you're buying your 20 Marlboros or your 20 Mayfair. It's just, you're going to die. So, sort of good, sort of bad. Well, it is bad anyway. They're all assholes. Banned slim cigarettes. I didn't even know these things existed until a few months ago. Did you? But anyway, any diameters of less than 7.5 millimeters, I believe they're quite long as well, so the same amount of tobacco, just in a thinner delivery. Packets with less than 20 cigarettes should be banned. That just sounds to me like, because obviously 10s are cheaper than the 20s, the 12.5 gram pouches are cheaper than the 1 ounce pouches, and then the 2 ounce pouches are more expensive again. So is it just going to be a case of buy the bigger packs, die quicker, make us more money? Okay. No more tar and nicotine information on packets. Surely you're going to want to know your levels. Like, we've got our nicotine levels on our bottles. You know, I don't want to buy a bottle when I'm expecting 24 milligram like I normally vape and get 10 milligram. I'm just going to be there jumping up the voltage trying to get that throat hit. It's just not going to work. It's stupid. Stupid. Combating illegal trade Yes, Ms. Linda McCavan, you wanker. Combating illegal trade. Now, I'm pretty certain any ban on e-cigs to make them medicinalised is competition blocking, which is illegal. Okay, so why don't we address that first before we start combating illegal trade. There is no illegal trade as far as I know within e-cigarettes. Now of course the e-cigarette bit, I'm going to literally quote it. E-cigarettes may only be placed on the market under existing rules on medicinal products. However, given the potential of these products to aid with smoking cessation, member states should ensure that they can be made available outside pharmacies. What it means is you're going to get a prescription if this goes through, but you can go to your corner shop to cash it in, as far as I can see. Or if you are going to get it on prescription and they're available outside pharmacies, then really does that not change the game and it's just given over to Big Pharma, the whole monopoly? Now, isn't the European government all about fair trade and elimination of monopolisation? That goes through on the e-cigarette ban, which that is pretty much a ban. It will give the recreational nicotine industry into the hands of tobacco firms. Not just one, all of them. Okay, the only competition within the industry will be between all the different brands. Time and time again I have said this. Illegal move. Illegal move. It is competition blocking. There has never been any therapeutic claim on e-cigarettes. I believe may have been one or two actually, I stand corrected. But they have been pretty much shot down in flames and gone, you're fucking wrong, son. Yes, e-cigarettes help you stop smoking analogue tobacco products. We are still using nicotine recreationally. Even I knew that when I first had a toot on an e-cigarette a couple of years back. At the time it didn't work for me. 8 months ago nearly now, it did. Okay, because I was educated. Clearly these people aren't. However, with all that in mind that I've just given to you, the British government have gone, they're doing it. From something I read, I'm quoting here, I may be wrong, I will make amendments as in the comments as I go on and make it a pinned comment. But I'm pretty certain that the British government have gone, no, we ain't doing it. On the majority of the packaging, labelling, and I think the slims and flavours. I don't know about the e-cigarette thing yet. Now, again I found something interesting from who I'm going to name other Ninja Information bloke. He has actually been quite a valued member of Just Folks for the information that he's bringing through. And it was an article from The Independent, a paper I personally hate, by the way. I hate all papers. The politics of e-cigarettes, all smoke and no fire, and it was quite an interesting article. I shall place a link here somewhere, or probably actually as soon as I mention it on the video you'll see the link. And it was from Friday, yesterday. As the European Union is poised to reclassify e-cigarettes as medicines, it is time for a rational debate regarding their regulation. E-cigarette market is estimated currently to be worth £250 million in the UK by 2014. There's approximately 1.3 million users, we knew that, or vapers, as we all know, which by the way matey, who was it who wrote that? Nice picture of him, doesn't actually say, Marcus Hobley. It's vapors, not vapors, spelt it wrong, but it's okay, you work for the Independent and therefore, immediately in my eyes, an idiot. A good article. These battery-powered devices turn liquid nicotine into a vapour that can be readily inhaled. They provide a nicotine hit without the chemicals, tar and smell inherent with tobacco smoke. We know this. Their increasing popularity has caught Brussels bureaucrats somewhat off guard. Amendments to the EU Tobacco Directive will mean e-cigarettes will be regulated and only available by prescription via the likes of Boots and Lloyd's pharmacies. Now doesn't that, where he's got his information from I don't know, contradicts with Linda McCavan's proposal there, wanker, of being available outside pharmacies. Hundreds of vapers from across Europe who are against these proposals gathered outside the European Parliament this week to protest. They burst 2,000 black balloons, representing the number of lives they believe could be saved daily if policymakers backed the use of e-cigarettes. Collectively, the e-cigarette community has spoken out under the campaign Smoke Without Fire, and other ones as well, Mr. Hobley. I should be contacting him myself. That's another matter. I should get to that in a minute. Those gathered at the protest ranged from ex-smokers who are now vapers and to the owners of small to medium-sized enterprises whose livelihoods depend on e-cigarettes. The president of the Electronic Cigarette Industry Trade Association, Catherine Delvin, said the UK e-cigarette market should be allowed to grow organically and in a responsible way. We're self-regulated anyway. I mean, hell, even I've waded in on, looking after our best interests. Liberal Democrat, God, why is it all the people I really don't like getting involved? Liberal Democrat MEP Rebecca Taylor met with demonstrators and said, quote, "I'm not convinced we should regulate e-cigarettes as medicine. The bottom line is I can't support anything that makes e-cigarettes less available than regular tobacco." There's a lot of abstentions on that particular vote. I'd like to know what she actually did. The crux of the argument is those who object to the change is that e-cigarettes do not fall into the same category as quitting aids, such as nicotine gum or patches. Instead, while some use them as a stepping stone to quitting altogether, others choose to substitute. And treat them as a healthier alternative to actual analogue tobaccos, which, again, we all know. They are seen as the lesser of two evils. Don't quite agree with that, but, as I've said my piece on The Independent. Those favouring regulation cite the varying quality of products and concern over nicotine strength, clearly have not done any research at all and have not listened to you, the end user. Alright? I personally have had a few failings at Git, but that was my own uneducated fault. Once I was educated, I'm still going good, all my shit's good and safe. God, this is one woman I personally slap hard with a brick if I ever met her. Chief Medical Officer Professor Dame Sally Davis said, "More and more people are using e-cigarettes, so it's only right these products are properly regulated to be safe and work effectively." Oh, conformité européenne! Most of these devices will have a CE mark. They have to, by law. Shit! Twat. Most batteries will have to, in fact all batteries have to come under the CE mark. I had a little sort of debate with Mr. Dubinovsky a little while ago about CE mark, the WE regulations, and somebody was even going on about an FCC, but that's just full charge capacity, right? And of course the disposal of these things. Everything we have will have this in some remark. In fact, I'm pretty certain, yep, there you go. It's my latest acquisition, and that has a CE mark. The only model that doesn't have a CE mark that I own is that one, and I made it myself. Okay? For use by me. And if it goes wrong, I built it. Okay. Commenting on their strength, Dave Dawn, who runs the e-cig community site Vapor Trails TV, said controlling the dose of users is based on the assumption that medical professionals know the amount needed, but one size doesn't fit all. Very, very true. You may have a small hat, I've got a big head. True in so many ways. International bodies such as the World Health Organization remain vigilant about speaking out in favour of e-cigarettes. In 2009, the US Food and Drug Administration found traces of toxic chemicals used in antifreeze in 2 brands of e-cigarette. 2 brands of e-cigarette. And I guarantee you they were under the counter shit copy jobbies. Most likely cigalikes, because they say within e-cigarettes. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I doubt a lot of these people don't even know that we're using atomizers which we fill with our own juices that we buy from reputable vendors. I'm pretty certain that I'm convinced they don't know this. Of course that's raising concerns over quality standards. Well, as I know, we're a picky bunch. Safety of consumers and citizens should rightfully be the top agenda for our representatives in Brussels. Very true. Yet nudge theory has shown us, when looking at issues of lifestyle choice and behavioural psychology, I've mentioned this before, habit, the social aspect of everything, legislating should be the last and only resort. A principle of the European Union is to create competitive markets and break monopolies. Let that sink in just for a second there. Illegal competition! We'll back off. Must be the toxic chick I'm smoking. What's in place? Yet proposals run counter to both of those items. Okay, the last thing on their mind, if something is working, right, and it is not proposed as a therapeutic device, okay, it should be allowed and left because it will break a monopoly, which is what the European government is supposed to be there doing. It is not. They are being a great big bunch of fucking homosexual twats. Sorry, getting out of hand. As articulated in an Independent Voices editorial in March, the heavy hand of government is not necessarily the answer. A pragmatic way ahead would be a minimum age of purchase. We already have that, 18. Self-regulated, of course. e-cig and various other people. And a safe level of nicotine for products. We have a safe level of nicotine for products. The base is brought in at 54 and 75 respectively and mixed down to a safe inhaled level. Ask anybody who mixes and they know this. We know the risks. All of our juices have the toxic labels on them. We know that if used improperly it will harm. However, we don't use it improperly and it is making for harm reduction. Important words, remember those. Apparently this guy has never met a long-term smoker that hasn't tried to quit. Please note he has said hasn't tried to quit. Okay? And so making it more difficult for people to access the very tools that can access them is anything but helpful. We need to regulate the smoke to put out the fire. Which leads me neatly into something else that I'd heard of, that there are a lot of lobbyists who are saying that all our little forums are put up by the companies that make the products we use. Bullshit! I can tell you now, as a runner of a Facebook group page, I have absolutely no loyalty or ties to any other e-cigarette business, company, brand. I have more loyalties to my favourites, the ones that I prefer to use, such as this one and this one and these juices. They don't pay me to say shit. I mean, frankly, if a company makes a shit product, I want to say that's a shit product. But that's just personal opinion. I set up my group so we can all get together and have a chat from all corners of the world. Okay? There is no backing by any company. And it's the same with VTTV, UKV, Planet of the Vapes, all the various other Facebook groups. You know, some have been put up by vendors and companies and manufacturers, but we go there because we're their fans, not because they're paying us. So I'll tell you what, governmental ministers and all your lobbyists, quit the bullshit, be transparent, show us where the money's coming from, and I guarantee you, you will find a whole level of corruption that makes the expenses scandal and all that crap look like a grain of sand on the beach. So what do we do from here? Of course, keep writing to them, your MPs and your MEPs. I had thought about contacting Jack Straw myself after watching his video, but then if you're outside their constituency, your letters will be ignored, so there's no point. I am going to write to the Prime Minister and tell him my exact thoughts. I am also going to start looking into, under the advice from a very well knowledgeable person, local press, local radio, TV and everything. And with that, I was told by a friend of mine, a relative of theirs, their daughter specifically works for Icon Film Productions, and an idea formed in my head. I will have to research this and see if it's possible before I announce it, but I think it's a great one, and will make a very public exposure of what is a dirty great big debacle. Okay, rant over. Sorry it's been long-winded. I've been Fury 79. You've been gorgeous. Vape break. Tea break. Peace. Subscribe, like, comment. Be good. And I believe this is now video 49. Giveaway coming soon. Eyes peeled. Peace.